I didn't talk at all about the bacterium. I just wanted to mention that there are a couple different bacteria that are involved in there's actually a number of bacteria that can utilize sulfur. But there's one filamentous bacterium called Thioploca, Thioploca, and that particular organism is involved in, it's a sulfur bacterium that's involved in sulfur oxidation. But the one that I really wanted to concentrate on is something called Thiomicrospira, Thiomicrospira. And Thiomicrospira thermophila is the one that actually lives within these tube worms, and its optimum temperature for its enzymes is somewhere between 15 and 55 degrees, but can actually survive temperatures of 80 degrees or even higher than that. So it's, even at 55 degrees, which is actually an optimum temperature, 55 degrees Celsius is actually a very, very hot temperature. If you were to put your hands in 55 degree water, you would feel that the water was very hot. At 78 or 80 degrees, the water would be scalding hot. So you'd really have to back off from those kinds of temperatures. And nevertheless, these bacteria seem to tolerate that, and the organism itself tolerates that actually quite well. And there's still some controversy as well as to whether or not, I don't know when this will be resolved. I'd like to see some resolution, but certainly within the tube worms, the bacteria are fixing, or actually, oxidizing the sulfur species, but there's also a question of whether or not the organism itself, that is the tube worm itself, whether its tissues are capable of doing this oxidation. And there is some evidence to that effect that perhaps the organism, although it might not be nearly as effective as the bacteria, but even in the absence of the bacteria, it seems that the tissues of the tube worm are actually capable, when they've done isolated the tissues, although the activity I said is not as great, it seems that these tissues are still capable of oxidizing hydrogen sulfide. So there seems to be some inherent protection that these animals have within their own bodies to actually eliminate the sulfide, at least detoxify it, and maybe they can detoxify it, and maybe they need the bacteria to actually increase the rate of reaction so that they can derive enough energy from this to be able to build up foodstuffs. So these are just a couple interesting things that I found about these creatures, and I wanted to share them with you in this brief period of time. And I'd like you to consider that, again, that I'm just going to ask you questions pertaining to this lecture, the extra credit questions. There'll be 8 of those, and the 25 questions will have few, if any, discussions of bioluminescence, because, as I said, that was pretty much covered in a previous chapter. So again, Hatzlaka on the exam, on all your exams, and I look forward to seeing everybody that is going to be participating in the final exams in March. Thank you.